really know how to tell this story, but it starts with me loading the LX45 up on my trailer and heading to California to run the Dusy-Ershim Trail. Twice. Many tanks of fuel, I arrived in California to unload the LX45 while I waited for everybody else to show up. We all gathered up around Shaver Lake to get everybody together, take some pictures. Before we knew it, we were at the top of Kaiser Pass and airing down the tires. People decided to pour in some fuel at the top of Kaiser Pass. It's about 40 miles from Shaver Lake up to here, and having the gas in the tank is probably better than having it slosh around in the back of your truck.
156 at my house.
Yeah, they're calling that sea level. That's sea level.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Teamwork.
No, I get that.
Soon enough, everybody was on the trail. This side of the Dusy starts off pretty quickly. Lots of big rocks to crawl over, bumpers to hit. This is the first major obstacle. It's a big Z-turn. Unfortunately, I didn't get footage of myself going up because I have to film everything, it seems like. So, this is my buddy Travis. This is his new Toyota pickup. It's a pretty neat little build, 22RE engine, 5-speed manual, crawler box. One of the boxes has crawler gears in it, so plenty of gearing. He's still getting used to it. We did quite a bit of work on it before the trip. I think he's still getting used to this kind of wheelbase, 4-cylinder, gearing, all the things. 37-inch tires, I believe. Toyota axles, rear spool, front ARB locker or air locker. Didn't quite make the turn here at the top. Has to do some backing and turning. Don't have any Austin Powers music, sorry. It actually needs to go on the right side of that big stump you see Casey standing on. It's always interesting in video how flat everything looks. I mean, those are 37-inch tires. I think it gives you a good idea of the size of the rocks, but this is not a flat hill. It's an uphill Z-turn. Definitely gets you feeling a little bit weird. I think Travis must have it in double low right now, or at least the 4.7 gears. Rockers are getting a workout. This truck actually works quite good, especially for being a pretty new vehicle to him. It's he bought it mostly like this. It was much taller, and he lowered it down, had 40s on it, put 37s back on it. This is my buddy Mark. This is his early Bronco. It is awesome. Got a fresh 351 Windsor in it, MP435, Dana 20, and rear end, I think with 35 spline axles and a True Track. Front end is a Dana 44 with an E-Locker RCVs. He's on a 35-inch tire. The suspension's all custom. It's linked front and back, set just about stock height. I believe it's coil and shock in front, and then ORIs in the back. You can actually see right here, one of the few things I caught on camera is when the True Track was kind of spinning one and not the other. But he made this turn pretty easy. Glad he has rocker guards. My buddy Doug, his TJ, it's an LS 5.3. It's got a TR4050 5-speed manual, Atlas 4-speed, Dana 60 rear, air lockers front and back, Dynatrac Pro Rock 44 front, 38-inch Milestar Patagonias, bead locks. He's had this thing for a long time. It's very well built for what he does. He does a lot of snow wheeling and stuff like that. We've been all over the place in it. Nice 8274 on the front. He just had put in the Dana 60 rear this trip. He had run a 44 for years and eventually just got tired of breaking it. It's a nice new Fox 2.5-inch, I think 12-inch travel shocks on it. Just, you can walk around this thing 10 times and still find new stuff every time. Doug's taking the really tight line on the other side of this big rock here, and you'll see how tight that is. He's got to make a couple point turn here. Always looks like there's tons of space on camera, but I feel like Austin Powers when you get up in this stuff.
Yeah, right? I know.
Almost made it. One more back up. There we go. This is Casey. It's his Mazda Ranger pickup. It's got a 4.0 V6, factory 5-speed manual, factory transfer case, and then a set of 70s half-ton Ford axles, 9-inch rear with 513 gears and a Detroit locker, and 513 gears and a Detroit locker in the Dana 44 front, 37-inch tires, coil
Probably gonna have to go
front
back.
springs,
That's
leafs
what I
in the
did.
back still. This thing works really good. It's Achilles' heel right now. It's just gearing. You'll see through this video, he just has to use the clutch a lot more than he would like. So I think it's going to get a crawler box here shortly.
Yeah, I think this is the line over here, but
That's Travis help spot.
I was about 2 feet that way, like the whole truck, not just the back.
You're on your foot diff right now. Right there. Be where you want it when you go back up, but that should keep you off the diff coming down. Backwards. Good. Looking good.
There's that gearing. Travis working through the same spot. You can see has that crawler box. I don't even think he's in the lowest gear. If you're gonna have a manual, I think it's gotta have that low gearing. Mark just has torque. You can see that true track biting him a little bit right here. And the true track's in the rear axle, just so you know. It does work well, but it does hang him up every once in a while.
The rear end's got to be like over a foot or two. This rear drive shaft.
You can see that 9-inch just grinding on that rock. That'll come into play later.
I would just go back out. This is how you're trying to climb.
Doesn't hurt to have slightly lower gearing. The LX45. This is my little creation. It's a 96 Toyota Land Cruiser LX450 chassis with a custom FJ45-esque body on the top. And it likes to break hub studs. Lucky I had a spare set. Got those swapped on. Wasn't long before Travis started having a couple issues with his steering. Basically, the hydro assist ram was racking the steering over and causing it to loosen the jam nut no matter what we did with kind of the position and how tight we got them. So what we ended up doing was making a wobble stopper. And I'll show you here in a second. In case you got the Carnage welder out. Started welding. Man, these things are handy. We welded an open end wrench in there to act as a wobble stopper. Worked great.
Just a little snack while I fix my rig.
Had some snacks. Started getting dark on us a little bit. We were trying to make it to Ershim Lake for our night one camp spot. It's kind of the halfway point, give or take. There's always trees to drive between on this trail. And I wouldn't even really call these rigs large. Like Travis is still running stock axles, but you have to be on your game, paying attention, and if you're not lined up right, you're probably not going to fit.
I don't think that's it, Trav.
Yeah,
I think you got
that wasn't
butt
it.
end over that way.
A little bit of a reposition. He was fighting some steering issues too. I don't think he had full lock both directions. But a little bit of patience, readjustment, get right through. See Mark taking a much wider line. He's still not breezing through, but always looks like there's more space on camera. We made it into Ershim Lake. About dark. I think this is the only shot I got before it got dark on us. Back on the trail early in the morning, sun's up. We're headed on our way to Thompson Lake, hopefully for lunch. A few little water crossings along the trail on the top. Plenty of trees to drive through, rocks to drive over. love the visibility on the LX45 with the window panels out. Might actually get into second gear here for a second. There really isn't any places that you get to go fast. Maybe a few little half-mile sections, quarter mile, but most of it looks just like this. Rocky, tight. Kind of always have to pay attention or you're hitting something. This is Thompson Lake, I think. Travis had a brake line issue when we stopped for lunch. Basically just a fitting that had kind of got boogered up or something. Somewhere along the lines, though, he got a little bit of brake fluid in his eye, so...
Yeah, sure. Can't you do something different?
So, I don't ever like pull the eyelid out or anything. It's literally just tilt my head back and drip.
I'm pretty sure it was brake fluid. It's probably fine. Okay, I got it. I got this. Okay, yeah, I got it.
You're gonna take
You're
a
gonna
bath.
do it?
Okay, open. Open.
No.
That's on. That was on the surface. That's on the eyelid. Here, let me get a little closer here.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Oh, that's way better.
I don't think anything
That's
went in. Travis.
super good. Oh, it's better now. It definitely is better. Thank you. That is.
For lunch, we started heading down Thompson Hill from Thompson Lake. More of the same, lots of rocks, lots of trees. This is probably one of the harder sections of the trail, but going down really isn't as difficult, and it tends to go a little faster. It was going so easy, all I got was a couple pictures. Wasn't until we got to these bridges on the bottom, things started to go a little bit sideways. I found Mark down at the bottom of the hill looking at his rear axle. Ended up that the rear axle had drug over too many rocks and had a split in it that was about 4 inches long here at the back edge. We decided just to press on. It still had some gear lube in it. We wrapped some towels around it and just pushed on basically towards Courtright Reservoir where we were going to camp that night. Still plenty of fun things. I think this was actually the spot where Travis had broken the rear axle on his pickup the last time he tried this trail with us about 2 years ago.
I felt that one for you.
That ended up being a
Yeah, it's about
bit
time
of
I get that
a
side.
interesting trail repair.
Always the passenger
He had to
side.
drive out in front wheel drive. Found this tree along the way. It must have fallen in the last couple days. Luckily, Mark carries a electric chainsaw with him. I have an axe. The chainsaw's quicker. Got to the top of Voyager Rock, Chicken Rock, and lo and behold, the reservoir had been drained for the work on the dam. Got to the bottom of the hill. Check out the sign for the start of the trail, traditionally. Set up camp. Got to check out the lake being totally drained. They had been working on the dam itself, and that's why the trail was closed on this end. I decided to replace my rear drive shaft. I had a rear U-joint that was squeaking like crazy. Casey found a U-joint that was going bad in a front axle. So he decided to pull that apart. He had a spare.
I didn't change nothing except for the hub or the spindle deal. Spare one, I just throw that in there.
Here's the axle. You can see the two broken caps.
Yeah, is it pretty toast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 caps.
Mark had bigger issues. They'd taken the rear axle completely apart and were trying to clean and prep the housing so they could weld up the crack.
Right. We'll see what happens.
You know, fun things to do at camp. They had a piece of steel that they'd found in the trail bag and were fitting it to the bottom of the axle to act as a skid plate. They welded on this thing a lot. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. That was about it for this leg of the trip. Now we got to turn around and do it all the other direction. Yeah, I mean, I do think we could...
Bart Sketcher?